it's hard for you to still have that in your mind of like, maybe there's a chance of leading to everything, because she gave such, it wasn't even like, she wasn't breaking down, she wasn't crying. It was credible. I felt like I believed her. There was only one point where I didn't believe her, but I believed her for the most part. And it was just like, she was just like recapping her life. Even before hearing her testimony today, but especially after hearing her testimony today, I think that it was a lot of like, it was twofold. I think on one end, you know, she was young, she was in the beginning of it, she was in love, and by the point she probably realized that, hey, this might not go how I want it to be. It's like now she's so entrusted in it, like there's drugs, and videos, and you know, she's with this man who has this lifestyle, and it's like, where do I go from here? I think on the other side too, there was this artist that was still trying to figure it all out, and depending on this man who she kept mentioning different times when he would show up for her, right? And to me, when I listen to that as a woman, I'm like, oh wow, like that was the thing. You have this guy who believed in you, he's showing up for you, and I think there was that attachment as well too. So I don't know if I would say that she was like stuck and she couldn't be physically like, but I think mentally and how in love she was with him and what they went through together, everything seemed like it was very like inside. Like, oh my God, I just want him to feel bad for being vulnerable. I don't want to leave him on that ledge by himself. Like, it was a lot of that. Like, she cared so much that I think that's what kept her. So maybe that did lock her into this. I don't know. Her testimony today really made me think about, like, man, like, what does a 19, 20, 21-year-old in love with a superstar actually experience? Because the life she went to, I couldn't imagine.
So when she talked about the elevator,
yes. Yeah, there were two things that stood out. So the first thing was there were text messages that he showed from that time period. And in the text message, she had texted him and said, I want to F him so bad, I want to freak him so bad. And the prosecution instantly asked her, well, why would you text him? And she said, well, you know, I had this huge movie premiere coming up on Monday. This was over the weekend. You know, she alleges that she did that because she knew she would please him that weekend. Her premiere would go well, you know, that Monday. She talked earlier on in her testimony about not really knowing how his mood would be and how her day was determined by how he felt and would be allowed to do that, right?
she was sort of planning ahead. She said it was like psychological.
Yeah, that was new. That was new. Like seeing that conversation and seeing it be positioned in a way of like, you know, her initiating it, because he had heard that, you know, I feel like the defense tries really hard to, and it's their defense, to make it seem like he wasn't alone in initiating a lot of these things. That was the first time that I've seen it. I've seen her address that. There was something else new too. There was something about the actual video. The guy that was in the room. So she was the first person, because remember the escort said, the security guard said that someone else was in the room. But the way that the defense, Brian still came in and shook that security guard down so bad, I didn't know if I believed them by the end of the day. But today, when she brought it back up and she mentioned him by name, and this was the same name of an escort that she had talked about a lot, I'm like, oh, well, maybe someone was there, right? And maybe, you know, what didn't get reported potentially allegedly was that a cover-up? Like, now I'm trying to figure that out. But it was my first time hearing her talk directly about what in that room what happened. She did talk about, she said she allegedly got punched in the face and she couldn't really remember why, because they were so out of it, they were partying, and she was just trying to get away, but there was another person there.
I think what they kept hammering on was that she would have to be drugged. She was being drugged
out of her
in order
mind
to do this. And this is the only way she could do this, and he was providing her.
Yes.
So this seems more captivity. He was forcing her into something.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's pretty predictable that, and not that I'm downplaying it, but like I knew that they were going to lean in on that, because that's such a big thing in the indictment, like all the drugs, and that's how he was able to keep the women, you know, captive and make them do things that they didn't want to do. What I thought was pretty interesting though, where there were a couple of times that he asked her like, how would you even know how to get the drugs? And she was like, oh, well, you know, Sean would connect me with whoever, or Sean's people, or his team would bring, you know, people in, and the way he reacted to that, like he kind of like shook his head at her. I know she was, and I was like, oh, this is going to be a very interesting talk. When they get up there to question her from his side, I think that they're going to go directly into, oh no, we're not going to do that.
And speaking of that, talk about the performance critique on some of these
Yeah,
the whole day,
she was
right?
strong.
So tell me about her demeanor in high school.
I think she looked very good. She was beautiful. That's number one. But she did keep it together well. Even when she cried, it was like she teared up. It wasn't. I thought she was gonna break down. Definitely looks like she could pop at any moment. She is very pregnant. There were certain points where she was even like agitated, like, and she asked for breaks, things of that nature. But I think she held it together well. But I think the stress and the pressure of this is something that you definitely got to consider, especially when you come off for that cross, especially because you don't want to look overly aggressive. You know what I mean?
Closing it up.
They're putting us out, y'all.
Okay.
Let me get over here.
Thank you,
Out of the way
Lauren.
before you close
Appreciate
that way.
Can I go that way?
Can I just get a shot of them?
I'm the one I'll be saying. You my boss.
Oh, hey. Nice to meet you in person, finally.
Hey, what's up?
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, where you at? I'm gonna get out of here.